multiple people have been shot at a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Why did this happen?
The community of just 600 people is reeling from what happened during an 11 o'clock church service.
I had to turn away. I couldn't watch it.
He was looking all around and shooting at everybody. I was hiding under the bench. I did not want to breathe, look, nothing.
The children, that's what hurts the most. I don't understand, but I know my God does.
And so many people are relying on their faith to help them process the horrific church shootings in Texas, and pastors are trying to decide the best way to protect their congregations. So joining me now is John Elmore. He is a pastor at the 3D Church. Michael Lewis as well, senior pastor at Roswell Street Baptist Church, both near Atlanta, joining me both now. Thank you for being with us. I have no doubt your churches will be full tomorrow. People searching for faith, but we need to talk about how to protect a congregation, sadly. First, let's start with how you're doing that. Any changes made?
Absolutely. Immediately following the incident that happened this past weekend, we implemented new security measures at our church. We had in-house security, kind of a mediocre style staff that wasn't as, serious or strict about security. But once we realized that things could get even more serious, we began to implement an active shooter training, which is actually happening this morning at our church. So we've partnered with local law enforcement to teach our congregants not only how to deal with it, but how to respond to it as well.
Pretty remarkable that you're offering active shooting training to your congregation.
Absolutely.
Sad that we have to do this, but important to be prepared. I know you're making changes as well. Will your security officers be armed too?
Yes, they are armed. We have a safety and security team made up of 30 to 40 active and retired law enforcement. And of course, they're just among the congregation, and we're always prepared for that. We always have a uniform officer that's at our premises to bring our people a sense of safety and security while they come to worship the Lord. How
do you balance that sense of security with just being a place of worship and not feeling like you're going through, the airport security?
Absolutely. Well, right now we have it in a discreet format. It's not as public. We do have an officer as well, but more so, a discreetness behind it, because it is still a place of worship. People still want to come and experience God, and not be stressed out about would they lose their life today, So we try to keep it very private. You never know who's carrying. That's the key. You don't want to give your hand away.
Well, that's why I say, a lot of people have reacted saying, I'm going to carry, even though churches say, do not bring your guns, regardless of what the laws are. People are saying, I need to be sure to protect myself. What do you say to that?
I say that it's their right to do so, and in this day and time filled full of evil and in those who are suffering with mental illness, we always have to be vigilant and on our guard. Lynn, one image that comes from the Bible that I think of is a watchman.
That's good.
And the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, talks about being a watchman, always being careful for approaching danger and also any emergencies that come up. And that's what we try to do in our local church through the safety and security team.
And just real quick, because I have your insight here, I think all of us are searching for a little bit of faith, how you process something like this, how a father, the pastor of that church, can rely on that faith when his daughter was killed in this massacre. Advice for people out there as they head to church on Sunday in finding that faith?
Remember that God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. Remember that doesn't come from heaven. That comes from the enemy. And to remember that he still walks with you, and just to understand that your faith is still the key, to surviving any situation. So I would just say, churches, even pastors, begin to, if you don't believe in security, begin to implement it, to let people know you're a shepherd and you have to protect your sheep, and whatever measure that takes, use it.
So that we can go there and find our peaceful place of worship.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
we
you for
appreciate
having
your
us.
insight.
Yes.
Absolutely.